Yeah, it's just me and you.
Welcome to our conversations about lessons that we've been learning and we have learned from our marriage. This is my husband, Greg. My name is Grace. Today, our topic of discussion is about managing finances. This is one of those topics that, is a challenge for so many people. It is said that couples tend to fight the most about money and how to handle money. And so this is an important topic for us to discuss because it's one of those things that really makes for a lot of hardship and pain and so on in so many marriages. So I know as we think about how things have been and what we've learned about how to manage money over the years. There's some thoughts that I have, but I'd like to hear yours, Greg, about what you think people would find valuable, the lessons you've learned.
Well, with money, you have to be very, very intentional. You have to have a name for every penny, in a way. What we did early on is we really studied some of the financial people, and one specifically, a gentleman by the name of Dave Ramsey, who's created Financial Peace University, and he has created 6 baby steps, which are very easy to follow, which we did follow. And I'm not saying we were 100% continuous in the process, but we did learn enough to where we could move forward and begin to work together in those areas. And the biggest problem with money is how are you going to spend it? What are you going to do with it? One of the things that we decided on early on is that we were going to follow a biblical principle. It was based on our spiritual values, and that is we contribute 10% to our church. We try to consistently save 10%, and then we budget what's left. And what we found through the years is that it does work. First of all, it forces you to have the conversation of what are we going to do with this dollar? Or how do we plan for some time away? What are we going to do to prepare the kids for next year at school or even next week, the things they may need for extracurricular activity. So the money part is very, very critical. And some of the things that can happen is I may want to do something that she doesn't know about or maybe doesn't approve of, but I want to do it, so I may spend some money without telling her. Then when the bank statement comes and she sees, well, what is this? And I have no valid explanation for that, or I can't justify why I spent that. If it's not contributing to our dream together, moving forward together, then it's going to be very counterproductive. But then on the other side, I really like how you are very supportive of things that will help me to grow as a person. For example, to attend a certain seminar I know will stretch us financially. You're willing to work with me, or maybe make my peanut butter sandwiches to take to lunch for the next couple of weeks, or things like that. So, yeah, working together in that area is critical and is absolutely essential if you're going to move forward as a team.
And I think, I certainly appreciate that, yes, you point out some important things as far as how to make the whole management of finances be effective and not necessarily pain-free, but something that's doable. Because, the truth of the matter is, if you were to ask people, for the most part, regardless of how much income they have, they could always want more. They could always use more, right? And the point is that, well, whatever it is we have is a finite amount, and so therefore we need to do the best we can to make that work. And when it is the spending plan, if you will, or how money is being spent, is guided by the values that you have, as well as the dream, the goals that you have, it puts you in a position where you're more intentional about how you spend, and it gives you something to keep in mind as you decide, do I really need this nice thing here that I'm looking at, that it is on sale and the offer is really good or whatever, and does it contribute towards whatever our overall goals are, or is it something that might feel good for the moment, but really in the long run would interrupt our being able to move towards those goals. So that kind of sort of guiding principle is valuable. And you mentioned something about peanut butter sandwiches, but of course, the point of that is that sometimes it does take sacrificing in order to be able to really move towards getting something that you not only just want, but that is really necessary to kind of move you further down the road. Things like major even purchases sometimes, like a home or whatever. Oftentimes, given the housing prices that exist these days, it's a real stretch, and sometimes couples have to stretch. But there are ways to stretch where you are doing what needs to be done, like in terms of stretching, putting forwards to achieve a goal, and at the same time, making the sacrifice of cutting down on other things. So those are important things, I know, for us, and we've had to learn those lessons, make choices that in the long run I think were valuable. And part of what we were also trying to do was to make sure that we were teaching our children
That's right.
how to similarly make wise choices with finances.
Yeah, it's easy to teach them when you're modeling.
Yeah, definitely so. Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing and for coming in
My
today.
pleasure.
And thank you for joining us for another conversation, hearing from us about lessons that we've learned from our marriage, and we certainly look forward to sharing with you the next time. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out our blog and sign up for our newsletter so that you can find out what it is that we're doing. There's some exciting things that we will have coming up in the very near future, so we look forward to sharing that with you. See you then next time.
Bye-bye.
In the world did you get that?
Oh, edit that, please. There you go. The words are cut.